Hello VIPKid teachers, my name is Lauren, and today I would like to talk about some of my fun and educational reward ideas. So let's start with some of the higher levels. I love to use fidget spinners. There's a lot of uses for them. So this first one I will use for my level 4 students, sometimes my more advanced level 3s. So this has 3 monetary values on it, a 20, a 100, and a 50. I use my Monopoly money, and first the student will spin. I will have them say stop, and it lands on a money value. So they will spin, and then I will take a turn. After 5 turns throughout the lesson, I will have them add up all the money and see who has more. So that's one way to add some math into your games and your lessons. And it's also a lot of fun for the student. I use this with a lot of my first-time level 4s, and it tends to bring them back to my classroom. So on the other side of my spinner, I have some question words, and I will use this for my 4s and above. So on this one, I have what, where, and how. So we will spin. I will stop on a question word, and I can ask them a question, or I can ask the student to ask me a question. It's another good way to get to know your student. So sometimes I'll use this with my newer students to see what their life is like, some things they like to do, where they like to go, and it gets the conversation going and builds some good rapport. Next, I have my letter spinner. So I have 6 letters on here, and all I've done is just glued them onto the fidget spinner. I can use this with some of my lower levels, but I'll also use it for my higher levels, 4 and up. I will have them land on a letter. Okay, so this is R. Think of an animal that begins with R. So they say rabbit. Now I want you to think of a sentence with the word rabbit in it. So you can use this a lot of different ways. You can use it for the lower levels to have them think of a word and just stop there. Or for the higher levels, you can extend and have them think of a sentence. You can really get brave and use 2 letters and have them think of a sentence with both words in that. So that's another way to use a fidget spinner. Okay, another thing for my higher levels is I have some multiplication war cards, and I also have division war cards. So the same thing as with the Monopoly money. I'll add a little math into the lesson, and it works on them saying their numbers and their addition or multiplication or division skills. So they will draw a card, and then I will draw a card, and we will see who has more. So we'll play teacher versus student. So they get a point for each round that they win. Whoever has, 4, 5, or 3 out of the 5 is going to win overall for that lesson. So that tends to be fun for the students as well. So you can use addition, subtraction, multiplication, or division. I also have my handy cube that I got from the dollar store, $1, and you can create a lot of rewards with this. Right now I have question words on the cube, so I have every question word there is. So the same as with my fidget spinner, I will roll the dice, it will land on a question word, and I will ask the student, or the student will ask me. So that's another good one for your higher level students. You can also play teacher versus student using just a regular dice. I have a bigger one because it's easier to see. You can have them earn points by what they roll. So here's only 1 point for the student and 4 points for me. They have to add the points by the end of the game. You can also use it by, okay, whatever number I roll, I want you to think of 5 foods that you like. So you can use a lot of different ways, or use the dice in a lot of different ways to extend a lesson and do some fun rewards. Another thing that works great with the older or higher level students is a word scramble. So this right here is from level 5, unit 6. I tend to use these a little bit later in the unit, so they've been introduced to a bunch of words from that unit already. So level 5, unit 6 talks about family trees. So this one is cousin. I also have grandpa on here. And I can't for the life of me remember what this one is. I will have to go back to the unit to see. We have uncle and relative. So for those students that are pretty smart, this is a really good way to tie in the reward to the lesson. There's also some word searches that you can do. You could play a hangman that has to do with the lesson. I tend to stay away from those and generally will use these, but those are some other good ideas that I have gotten over time. Okay, now for my level 2s. Again, the letter spinner can be used for the lower levels. They can think of a word and not include the sentence. I tend to use my color spinner a lot. So I have blue, yellow, and green, orange, black, and pink on this one. So I have them spin and say, stop. Green, I say, find something green in your room. So the student has to be able to understand the find something in your room. If they don't understand that, I'll say, find something green on the slide or in the picture, and they understand that well. A lot of my kids have really good time searching their room for something of that color. And if the student is becoming a little bit more advanced, I'll have them tell me about the item that they found. I get a lot of books, pencils, pencil cases seems to be popular, but I've had some kids come up with some great items, and it helps them use their English skills to tell me about it. All right, for my lower level kids, I have my color rectangle. So we use this for learning colors, but one day I came up with a reward with it and the kids loved it. So they're pretty familiar with this chart. So I will have my hand here and I will move it really fast and I will stop over a color and they have to guess which color is under my hand. This one tends to be a big hit and I didn't think it would, so I will use that time and again. Okay, so this is something that I made. You can use it similar to find a star on your digital rewards, but I like to use physical rewards. So I have, in this one, I have different shapes underneath each letter and number. So it's good for the lower levels on remembering their numbers and their beginning letters, and for learning shapes. So the goal is to find a star. I think there's 5 stars on the chart. So that's good for the lower levels. And I made a couple different ones. I love the question words, so I used a paper with question words. And then I have one with points. And what I'll do is I glued this top layer on the edges, and I am able to just slide the papers in and out so they match up with the numbers. So this has different number values on it. So we will play teacher versus student again. And so they will add up all their points and see who has more by the end of the lesson. So they tend to like that one too. Okay, for my real low levels, my beginning level ones, the girls especially, I have a lot of Beanie Boos thanks to my daughter. So I have a bunch of cats. So I will introduce them to the word cat. We can talk about colors, and then we can count the animals by the end of the lesson. So those 4- and 5-year-old girls really like my cats. For boys, I have trains. Again, thanks to my son's Thomas the Train collection from many years ago. So we can talk about colors again. We can count the number of wheels. We can look at the colors of the wheels as well. So that's a good reward. I also have some cars where we can talk about colors, count the wheels, and then count the cars at the end of the lesson. But if I have a regular that I've done that more than twice with, I usually don't use that much. Okay, so you may have seen the alligator dentist. I was lucky enough to be walking through Five Below and I found a shark. There is also a dog. This is a huge hit with my lower levels 1 and 2. So what we will do is we will count the teeth, and the tooth pushes down each time that you press it. We will count the teeth, and we do not know when the shark will bite. They get a big kick out of it biting my finger. So I will, with some of them, we will count the teeth. Others, I will have them guess what number it will bite me on. So that is another great reward for my littles. Another great girl reward idea is a nice little Melissa and Doug thing that I found at Five Below. I do a lot of shopping there. So especially in the clothing unit, there's a clothing unit in level 1. And they talk about a lot of clothes in other units in 2 and 3. So I've got the 2 dolls here, and you can choose what you want to dress them in. Okay, so all the clothes go over here, and you can dress the doll in that clothing item. They can name what you put on the doll. They can help you pick out what to put on the doll. There are shoes, there are boots, there's pocketbooks and hats. So educational and fun if that is something that your girl student likes. I also have my trusty sticker book. So again, Five Below. The kids love the bright colors. I will have them name the colors. So I have made a page for each student. So you can tell this is a student I've had for a while. So they get their 5 stickers in their lesson. I have a big sticker book of all different types of things. Here is a pineapple page. There's animals, there's letters, there are hearts and stars. So you can find something that the child will like, or you can coordinate it with the lesson. I don't recommend using the poop emojis. Probably wouldn't go over with the parents, but that's another way to personalize the rewards and give each student their own page. So that's just a couple reward ideas for you. I'd love to make my lessons educational but fun. I don't tend to use rewards that don't have anything to add value to the lesson. Sometimes I do. I have a couple kids who really aren't into rewards, so I just hold up my nice happy face when I give them a star and they're happy with that. I highly recommend taking a workshop called Gamifying Your Lessons, and that is with David. He is fantastic, and he can give you some other ideas. I got some of the ideas here from his workshop, and then I built upon them, especially the fidget spinners. So I hope you liked this video, and I will see you again soon.